What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 98. And today I'm going to be reviewing the movie The Mask. So what can I say about this movie? Well, it was weird, but also it was very wacky, I guess. Wacky is a good word for it. It was wild, I think. It was a very wild movie. I think the characters in it were very strange, especially Stanley. Ipkiss. It's a very strange name. It's overall a very strange movie, and it's classified as a superhero movie because, well, not really a superhero movie, just like more like a wild car, gangster style superhero type movie. It is not a superhero movie, but like it acts like one because the main character Stanley, he decides to discover his mask and he puts it on and he becomes like not really a superhero, like he has these abilities, kind of like I don't know. He kind of the way I would kind of describe the movie is kind of like a the Roger Rabbit movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's the kind of movie that I think this really would sum up to be in terms of what the effects are and how goofy the movie is. It just definitely feels like that, and I don't know what the time period was. I feel like it was a 50s or something, but maybe it doesn't really give a time period. But it's a very good movie in terms of the wackiness. I guess it's a good movie. I don't know. It didn't really. I didn't hate it, but I also wasn't. I felt it was a little weird, if you know what I mean, because I don't know. I think it's one of those movies that's such a strange movie, strange concept, and has some familiar faces in it, like Jim Carrey. He did a not bad job at the role, but obviously this is not based on a book, I don't think, so I don't know. Well, I know it's based like a TV. I don't know exactly. I think it's the original story, pretty sure, because it has like him, and it has Cameron Diaz, it has the guy from The Wonder Years, the born teacher, and that's pretty much all the actors that I recognize, at least. But okay, it's the first appearance of Cameron Diaz. Like it's her first film role. And also, I kind of felt like with this movie, it kind of set up for the idea that there were two love interests. Well, not really, but like kind of acted that way, because when Stanley's by himself, not with a mask, he's not only vulnerable to the mobster people, but also he obviously acts different because he's like this nothing person. He just nothing, and until he finds the mask, but he actually becomes something else. Like he was crazy. He acts like a circus maniac. He just wow. And that was one of the things I found. I don't know. It was funny, I guess, if you think about it from a perspective of a wild cartoon movie with gangsters and a mask that can turn this nothing man into, well, not really a hero, but like this wacky guy. Kind of what the movie's about. Basically about this guy who doesn't really have anything good going on in his life. He's a banker and he doesn't really know what to do about life anymore. Like he's got a more or less enjoyable life. He's got a dog, very adorable dog, and overall it's not a bad movie by far at all. I just felt it was a little strange, just the way the characters were and the story, the plot, the characters themselves. I thought it was hysterical at times because of the comedy and the way that the I guess the powers that he has when he has the mask on, because the mask literally is just like this tiki mask, this green tiki mask that when you put it on, it becomes, it turns you into this being, basically. Like when he puts it on, basically it wraps itself around the head and he becomes this green-faced maniac, basically, who has the power to like zip around like Wild Tornado. Or is that the character that the Looney Tunes character that goes like, he actually did that exact thing. There was actually because it is a Warner Brothers movie. They actually have a Wild Tornado, or whatever you call the I can't remember the little monster guy that swims around real fast in Looney Tunes. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But he actually has that because it's from Warner Brothers, and so he does the exact things. All these things you'd expect to see, like I don't know, Roger Rabbit. It has the same special effects because I think it was by the same company. I'm pretty sure. I'm not. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the same company. But it mentions a character that's going to be in this movie, which will be my next review, because the next review after this will be this movie, since this is actually a double feature. I don't know, I don't really get all these left, but like this is the movie that I'm reviewing, and this is the next week. So this one is the mask. Look, he just looks weird. He's got like what are they, gray lips, green skin, and a hat. I mean, the hat is just he just puts a hat on, but like I don't know. The green skin. It's weird. Like this guy Loki, which is my next review, not this week but next week. He is the guy who's mentioned by the guy who wrote the book about masks, basically. And when you're talking about sequel with this movie, this is more like a standalone sequel because it has more or less nothing to do with the first movie characters. The only thing that it has to do with is the mask. And I think the dog. Oh no, I thought this dog looked familiar, but it's not the same dog. I think it's the same breed. It's just a different dog. But like, this is a standalone sequel, so it's a sequel, but it doesn't have anything to do with the first one except the character Loki. He's mentioned in the first movie, but like not like he actually makes an appearance as Ellen Cumming in the second movie. So that's why that's the movie so different. I mean, it's a sequel, but like not really. I don't know. It definitely felt like a movie that could have had some kind of, you know, addition to it, like more of a story. Like, because the mask, the whole purpose of the mask was he kept putting it on and he couldn't control it. Like, he was literally out of control. Like he's a different person. Kind of like, imagine like a way to describe the character of the mask, because the mask is a character technically, is that he's like the Hulk, like Bruce Banner the Hulk, where once he becomes the Hulk, he's like, you know, he doesn't have any control. He doesn't remember what he. Literally, he's like the Hulk, where Stanley will put the mask on, do crazy stuff, you know, when he's wearing the mask, and then you know, the next morning the mask will just be like over here, and he won't remember what he did last night. Like, for example, he suddenly realizes that he stole a bunch of money from the bank, which he didn't really mean to, but that was not him, it was the mask talking. But also, he just doesn't. That Stanley himself doesn't really have control over the mask, because like he controls him basically. That was the really interesting thing. It kind of felt like the Hulk in a way, because they're both green and they have, well, they don't have the same powers, but like he has, like, you know, he's a magician kind of. He does all these weird kind of Looney Tunes things. There's a scene in the nightclub where Cameron Diaz, who actually in this movie, I mean, she looks somewhat attractive still, but like back then it was her first film role, and she was very, very beautiful. And it was a nightclub scene where she was doing the classic, I don't know, singing person. I don't know what time period this movie takes place, but there's a scene where the mask, Stanley, because the mask basically goes into the club thing, and he, you know, turns into, like, his eyes pop out and his tongue rolls out, and then eventually he turns into a wolf, like the head of a wolf. And so those kind of powers are kind of weird. Like, he does all these weird things. It's like he has like a bunch of arsenals. In fact, there was a thing on Facebook where it was like single player one gun, multiplayer a bunch of guns. It was actually from the movie. So, but yeah, I liked the movie to an extent. It was just goofy, you know. It was weird, wacky, goofy. I can't really say I hated it, but I also can't say I loved it. I thought it was okay. You know, it was interesting. It was fun. It was wacky. Very wacky. Told an interesting story. You know, a mask that an unfortunate soul such as suddenly Upkiss discovers, and he puts it on and becomes Maniac, basically, who has all these, like, you know, I don't know, powers. He has like the power of Mr. Fantastic. He can change into all sorts of different characters. Or even Elvis Presley cameo. He dresses like Presley. There's just all these different things he can do. He's just overall a maniac, and that's why it was very interesting. But overall, the way he acts is way different from Stanley. So, like, kind of like the Hulk, where he acts differently when he's the Hulk, or Stanley acts differently when he's the mask, because when he puts the mask on, he's just a completely different person. But also, I did feel like there was some kind of a love triangle between him, Tina, who is the girlfriend of the mob boss, who's basically the main villain, and the other person, the woman. The young woman with the orange hair, someone actually, for a 90s movie, very attractive young woman who has who kind of has feelings for him, but it's kind of it's not really clear about what the hell's happening with the whole, you know, love triangle. But I mean, eventually he does get the Cameron Diaz character, but like it's weird. So yeah, that was a really cool, interesting thing about the movie that I really enjoyed, was just the love triangle. I thought it was sweet and nice, and you know, he discovers that he doesn't actually need the mask. Like, he's able to survive on his own, but also the mask is like essential, because actually I think that the dog does end up getting the mask, because he had the mask for a while. The mask is like the main thing he has, and then of course the mob boss guy, he ends up getting messed, becomes like this monster guy. He literally has the face of a monster. So, you know, some kind of like Lord of the Rings kind of thing like that. I don't know. He looked very Lord of the Rings for some kind of like monster. I don't know. He looked familiar. He looked like someone from Doctor Who or Lord of the Rings or something like that. And then of course the dog somehow gets it because the dog is like literally trapped. So he gets the dog. He gets a mask and he. I don't know. I feel like the dog in this movie, the sequel. I mean, is it a completely different dog? It just looks very. It looks like a, you know, a similar breed, and he gets the mask and he puts it on, and it looks pretty terrifying actually. But that's something that also something I like about the movie was the dog. The dog was very cute. He was adorable. In fact, he's such a smart dog because he was able to open a window. He's able to, you know, climb up a wall to get to Stanley, and when Stanley was jail, obviously. And overall, that's why I like the movie was really cute. It was weird. All hell was weird. It was such a weird movie. I thought it was, especially the wackiness of the movie overall. I thought the character Stanley, he just didn't know what to do with his life anymore. And then until the mask came along, he didn't know he had like all this crap going on. He didn't really know what to do. He just had basically nothing. Like his life was nothing. His landlord was being a jerk to him, and he just overall he was not having a good life. And then of course the mask comes along and he becomes this crazy guy, this wacky, lunatic guy who has like a, he's like a superhero or whatever. It's very strange. I mean, the whole thing with him becoming a different character, he's a completely different character. Like as soon as Stanley puts the mask on, he's a completely different character. That was the part about that I really thought was crazy. But also, I mean, I don't really understand the whole great. This is great. It's great lips. What the hell is that for? And then he never really closes his mouth. Maybe once, but like it's not really anything significant. He never really closes his mouth. He always has like teeth bared. It's so weird, but yeah, I mean, I thought it's classy, it's wacky, it's weird, has all those kind of things from one of those movies where it's just like, what? I mean, I definitely feel like it was from the 50s, like in terms of time period set. It doesn't specify at all, but I definitely feel like it was. And overall, I like the movie because it had a very cute little love triangle. Cameron Diaz was in a. This is like a fresh movie I didn't even know, because I'm just seeing her in like in Shrek and stuff and other movies that I've seen recently, but this is the first time she was in the movie. Like this was her debut. This came out in 1984, and so it was like the first film credits you had, and so I didn't know that. I thought like she was like something else, but like it was the first time she was in a movie, and so she gets to play the love interest of Stanley, who and there's also the fact that the mob boss he's the villain of the story, obviously, but he is also just very abusive, like to his girlfriend, who's Tina, who's the beautiful Cameron Diaz, who just basically just like, I don't see why that relationship was a thing. I mean, obviously in movies you're like, oh, you have the girlfriend, you have the beautiful girl who's dating this real jerk guy, Stranger Things, hint. But I thought that was really I didn't realize until now that guy was a jerk. He just completely didn't care for Tina at all. And the really amazing thing about the movie that I found really interesting, that kind of feels like Bruce Banner in a way, where Stanley decided to hero up even though he didn't have the mask. Like he tried his best to live without the mask because he tried to throw it away. He didn't want anything to do with it. And I mean, at the end of the movie he ends up throwing it away, obviously. But like he didn't want the mask. So, like he doesn't want to become the crazy psycho, not the Joker. I mean, in a way he kind of is as crazy as the Joker, but like what he can do in his abilities, he can dress like Mr. Fantastic. He can do all this like spinning. He can, in fact, every time like the first time he spins, he turns into the mask. He basically wrecks his house. and the second time he turns the mask, he wrecks his house again. And then of course you have the bank robbery. That was a big thing. He didn't even. I think personally, the really interesting thing about the movie that I found really crazy was like because he's exactly like Bruce Banner, where he doesn't remember what he remembers, or he doesn't remember. I think he realizes that what happened, but he's like, oh, what was it, a dream or whatever? It turns out the mask is elsewhere, and he just, I don't know. It's like one of those things where a character doesn't realize what they've done. Like he discovers all this money in his closet. Oh my goodness, that mask made me do that. That was horrible. So he realizes what the bad things about The Mask are doing to him. That's why it was a very, very crazy movie in terms of the character. You know, I mean, I feel a lot of people say, "Oh, Jim Carrey, you know, he's a terrible actor in the movies." I didn't really mind it. I mean, I got 77% on RT, which is not bad, honestly. Especially for this movie. But I mean, I've seen the ratings on this movie. It's a bomb. Does that mean I'm not gonna watch it? No, I'm gonna watch it. I haven't seen it before, so I'm still doing a review next week. But just because the movie's bomb and I haven't seen this, it's like, oh, this movie's a bomb, don't watch it. It's like, well, I can't know, but if I didn't like it, it doesn't matter if it's a bomb or not. I'm not gonna just skip it because it looks like a, you know, if some people think it's a piece of shit, I'm gonna watch it regardless because it looks good. It looks like a fun movie. It looks like a wacky movie. I know it was a bomb. I know this was a bomb, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna watch it, see how it is, do a review of it. You know, I might feel differently about it. I haven't seen it. I think I've only seen like a clip or two from when it aired on TV once, but like that was it. But I very much liked this movie. It was very fun. I enjoyed it more than I thought I did. You know, for a movie that it's as wacky and is weird and as chaotic, especially the character of The Mask, because it's definitely like a superhero movie. Well, not really. When I say superhero movie, I mean like it doesn't really speak for itself as like a superhero movie where he takes on a villain. He just like the stuff he can do kind of feels like a superhero. It has that genre. I mean, it isn't a superhero movie, but it's the genre of superhero movie. That's why it's in the genre. But like, it's not a superhero movie at all. It just has that. It's a superhero movie in the way of him having abilities. Like he can do all this crazy stuff. He's basically Mr. Fantastic, or his sponginess, his elastic makes him not die or whatever. I don't know. It's crazy, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was somewhat funny. I thought the characters were good, especially the actors that were in it. Really fun, and I felt that the actresses that played the love triangle in the movie, it did feel like a love triangle because he gets all the beautiful girls get to talk to him, and it's like a big love triangle in these movies, and I thought that was really interesting. And I mean, I'm not like obsessed with it, but like I definitely think that was something weird. I feel like it's really nice for that to happen because this guy is like this pathetic guy. He doesn't really have any. He's always late showing up for work, and it's crazy. But like he doesn't know anything about The Mask. He's trying to like refrain from knowing about The Mask. But overall, I think it's a movie that it's good. I didn't really have a problem with it overall. I didn't find it bad. I didn't find anything bad about it. I just felt the only thing I will say that I don't know, like I didn't hate it. I just if it was because of the wackiness. It kind of feels like if you've seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's that kind of wackiness. Has that kind of animation. It has that crazy weird stuff to it. I don't know, like because I'm pretty sure it's by the same studio that made this movie, so it makes sense for them to have the same kind of animation style where the eyes pop out and the teeth pop out and the tongue goes everywhere. It's like and the guy turns into a wolf or whatever. It's weird, but still a fun movie. I liked it. That's really all I can say about The Mask. It's good. Jim Carrey, I liked him. He's a pretty good actor. I really like his stuff. And seeing, I think I learned that he got paid $425,000 at the time of the movie to do this movie. I mean, that doesn't seem like a lot, but like for a movie that came out in the 90s, about a year after Jurassic Park came out, then that's saying something. But yeah, I mean, I think the only, not really complaint, but like, I don't know, cringeworthiness of the movie that I found was the design of the character, the mask. Like when he puts the mask on, it like wraps around him and like look how different the mask is. Like the mask is like this shade, but this is what he looks like in on the character. It looks like the mask. That was the weird part about the movie. So that's the only thing I can really say I didn't like about the movie was the fact that the mask changes completely when he puts it on, and like it looks vastly different. It's weird. I don't know. It's a very weird movie. I can say that. That's really all I can say about the movie. And on a rating of 1 to 10, like I always do, oh boy, I think I'm gonna dog 1 point off for the weirdness of the mask. Just the fact that the mask looks way different on each character. The dog, the character of Stanley, and the mob boss. All three of them look vastly different. That's why I'm gonna dog 1 point off for the movie for being not perfect, but pretty good. And that's why I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because it's just not a bad movie. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know. It has some wackiness to it and the overall the mask was just he's weird, and I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, that does it for this review of The Mask, starring Jim Carrey. Very fun movie. I would recommend it. Did not get a sequel, as you call this a sequel, but I mean, people saying it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's terrible because I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be the judge of next week. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate the support. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series I do. This is other great content. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Alright? See ya.